Right into the stretch, looking back and throws up the middle. Throws is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the voice from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the voice from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live. Oh, I just heard an echo. Sorry. To the best Cincinnati sports podcast this side of Joe Nuxall's Miracle League Fields in Fairfield, Ohio. How we doing? How we doing?
Doing good, Orletti. I think we do very well today. I'm in a very good mood, and I couldn't be more happier.
I forgot you were going to do that again.
What you talking about?
So, we got a good show for everybody. We have Bengals talk with the recap of the coming out party of Jake Browning, possibly. That was a big win on Monday night, keeping our playoff hopes alive. Then we got to switch gears, and we got to go to a preview of the Colts Bengals this weekend. We've got Santori on the way. Bengal Dad is not going to be in today. He had a meeting this evening, so he's not going to be able to make it. But first thing we're going to do while we're waiting on Santori, since we've got time, we're going to dive into just a little bit of Reds talk while we're waiting. So, big news coming out of the MLB draft lottery. The Reds had a 0.9% chance to get the number one pick. Well, they didn't get the number one pick. They got the number two pick, which is big. The Padres and the Reds had the same record, and the Padres are picking 25th, and we're picking second. That's how the lottery works. Me personally, not a fan of it, but this year I kind of am. Greg, what do you think?
Well, Malati, here's what happened. Before we watched the Bengals game, I went over to the MLB draft, but by Great American Ballpark, and I dropped a pot of gold by the side. They picked it up. They didn't know what they were getting. Now, the pot of gold didn't help 100%, but that little 0.9% turned into the number two pick of the draft. I mean, this is incredible, Jimmy, my boy. It's just incredible. I mean, we already have our farm system is way up with a bunch of talent, and now we're getting way more good coming into the future. It's just incredible.
It's unreal. Hold on, real quick. Did you fix Sparky?
No, my laddie. So Sparky, he's going in the grave soon. Yeah, I can't talk about it. I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness. But now, awesome that we're going to get the number two pick. Apparently, there's a lot of big bats in this upcoming draft. So, potential to really land a star in the 2024 MLB draft. The winter meetings have come and gone, and not much news coming out of there. You know, there was some pretty heated talks we've heard about Tyler Glasnow, Shane Bieber. There's Dylan Cease now is out there as well. There's talks about that. They actually talked about how much they wanted for him, what they wanted from the Reds, which included their number one pick from last year, Rhett Lauder. So don't know about that. That's seems a little steep, especially for that pitcher. But what do you think about that stuff, Greg?
Jimmy, my boy, I'm going to shun the accent right now. Okay, so because this is serious right now. In all seriousness, Jim, I mean, you know, I think we're all just excited. We went off to such a good start. We got the number two pick. Everything's going our way. We're just anxious to see what this next move is going to be because we have faith in this team right now. You know, Glasnow, when you really look at his stats, he has potential, but at the same time, man, get a guy that you know that can stay healthy. Shane Bieber, I know he's got injury issues too, but I would look out for some free agents. Like now this Rodrigo Lopez guy, Santori talked to me about him.
Yeah.
He is now. Here's the thing: he is left-handed. We are risking having 3 lefties in the rotation. But you know what my saying is: if you're good, you can pitch. Who cares, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The big thing with us, we worry about how these pitchers are going to be in Great American Ballpark. Well, it's only half their games. So it matters some, but we also, if you can just get the ball over the plate, strike guys out, have that walk ratio down, you're going to do okay.
Exactly. Like I say, if we can get a pitcher, we know. I even like that Walker guy. Now, I know he's still only 32, but he's got 11 years in, so that's a lot of wear and tear. But I'm just saying, I trust what they're doing. But if you can get a guy, you don't have to get rid of anybody, even though we got a crud load of talent, just go out there first before you trade for somebody, especially if it's a 1-year rental player too.
Right.
Shane Bieber. Am I going to get mad if we get Shane Bieber and we give up a couple prospects? No. Where I'm going to get mad at is if it's someone like Steer, McLean, Ellie, or something like that. That's where I'm going to get a little upset.
I don't think any of those guys are touchable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it'd be somebody more like a name that could be floated around would be maybe Connor Phillips.
Right.
Because he's an appealing guy.
Yeah.
To people. He's young. He's controllable in terms of his contract. So you get somebody like that, you package him in, it's appealing to another team in order to give up I don't want to say top flight starter, but a average to above average starter.
No, exactly. And like I say, you just, like I say, and I was listening to Marty and Tom. Marty was on his dad Tom's show. Yeah. And he said, he said he expects them to go get a pitcher because, he was talking about Nick Martinez, great pitcher. But if this is your only guy, your only target, then this is something to worry about. And we know that's not going to be. I mean, you and I both know. I'm ready to guarantee 100% we are getting another pitcher, a number 1 or a number 2 guy. They made it pretty clear that's what's going to happen. But like I say, they said you got to get that pitcher. Now, if we keep India, and they stated they're keeping India, is that going to be hard to get another right-handed bat like that Solar guy from Miami?
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot, but my fear now is if you're keeping India, this is a great problem to have, James. This is a great problem to have. How are we going to find room, though, is the question.
Well, and that's talk in December. Things could change coming up into, the end of January, middle of February. Talks could heat up, and then all of a sudden, here comes Soler, and then India gets sent packing. Sorry.
Now Nick Kroll, he said they don't plan on it, but he also did say never say never.
Right.
He did not make any guarantees. That's not their intention because we all know they value his locker room, his leadership, good person. But like I say, it's the old Justin Bieber song, never say never.
Right. Now, they did not pick up anybody in the Rule 5, the Rule 5 draft today. They did, however, pick up people in the minor league Rule 5. I think they got 3 guys.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure those don't affect the 40-man roster. So, it's nothing there. It's just going straight into the minors. But we'll see what happens with those guys. I don't even know who they are, to be honest. I just saw it and saw that they got 3 guys. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I trust what they're doing because I think they're risking losing something. I forget I don't know the rules, how that works. If you pick someone up in the Rule 5 draft, it's kind of like.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of James Started Without Me University. My name is Santori Miles. We have Big Savage Sexy Greg. We had Cincy James. Bengal Dad is somewhere with an HOA meeting because he'd rather do that than be with his boys. How we doing?
We weren't talking Reds. We weren't talking Reds, I swear.
I'm back.
Switching hats now.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
My wife shuts the door.
Mom said you're naked again.
Yeah, it's part of the program.
Just comes with it now. But, okay, we got our Reds talk out of the way. We kind of spoke a little bit about that stuff. Santori. Monday Night Football. We've got a game to recap.
Yeah.
A good one, too.
Now, Greg, are you ready? Because this recap of the Monday Night Football game is brought to you by Midwest Best Barbecue.
Oh, crap. No, hold on. No. Here we go.
Are you looking for great food, great atmosphere, and even better people? Well, look for the Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery. Head on down to 669 Justice Court in London to chow down on their wings, barbecue, mac and cheese, sandwiches, ice cream, and so much more. They even offer catering services too. And to top things off, Tim and Nicole Worsham are massive Bengals fans. Don't wait. Go to www.midwestbestbarbecue.com to get your carry-out or delivery order placed, or go to dine in to enjoy the sights and smells of Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery, which is open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. And to point one more thing out, the shout out to Midwest Best and Cam Taylor Britt's Family's Juice Foundation for sponsoring up with each other. That is so awesome. So shout out to that.
Yes, I like it.
So
I'm just really confused what that accent was.
So Santori, for 15 minutes straight Monday night, I did like an Irish, British, mixed in some Italian accent. And all I could tell you is it worked. It worked for Browning and all that. It worked.
Real quick. Do you?
I'm not sure I'd call that Irish, but
Dude, it's Lutherish.
Sure.
I don't know what the heck I was doing and all that, but it worked. But Santori, is there a reason why Bengal Dad isn't here right now? Is he afraid because what he said about Jake Browning?
No, he's in an HOA meeting. Actually.
Oh, sure. That's what he wants us to. I'm just kidding. We understand.
He's actually in an HOA meeting.
No, that's funny. No, he said on the show on Monday night, he said, if he plays well, I will be the first one to say it. And he did.
He did say that.
He put it in our group chat.
Oh, I know. He called me this morning and said, make sure you guys grill me on the show. Like he's all for it.
Yeah.
He is okay being wrong, especially when it's in our benefit.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And here's what I'll say. You know, I think people were quick to make conclusions after one game. We should have just been making evaluations. We didn't need to conclude anything on Jake Browning yet because he'd had one NFL start.
Here's the deal. And I know I was higher on him than most.
You had a second grade on him. I remember you telling me.
The Steelers game, I didn't even think he played bad.
He didn't.
I mean, at halftime, he had one incompletion, a touchdown, and a quarterback rating of 127 against the Steelers in the rain in his first NFL start.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? The Steelers did what the Steelers do, and they made adjustments, and he struggled.
Yep.
And then guess what? He gets a week of practice under his belt in the same system, regular-ass weather conditions against a normal team, and he fucking diced them up.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, and he got a receiver back, and the run game wasn't abandoned by his head coach.
Yep.
That was it.
Okay. I'm not saying he's going to throw for 350 and be an MVP every week.
Wow.
But what I will say is if there's somewhere in the middle, because I had about a C grade overall on the Steelers game, probably a D in the second half and a B plus or an A minus in the first half.
Fair.
If he's somewhere between a C and an A plus with this offense,
let's go.
Okay,
let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably a lot closer to Andy than he is Joe Burrow, but he's a lot closer to Andy than he is most backups.
Right.
So I think you would take Andy in this offense right now, knowing the situation.
People were wanting him back. So, yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. You know what? And speaking of the running game, I mean, last week we ran the ball 42 times. This week, 72 times we ran the ball. That's literally close to doubling what we did last week.
What? How many times?
41 plays. Paul Daner here. Went from 41 plays run last week to 72 this week. Is pretty much funny. 31 extra plays.
Yeah. Okay. Not run plays. I get it now. Sorry.
Man, good thing I'm not an informant.
71 is a tick above league average, which is nice.
Yeah.
What that shows you, when your offense is highly productive and they've only run league average plays, it means your defense sucked. Because they kept getting the ball back.
Well, it wasn't just quantity. I mean, like 6.8 yards per play was the most this year and second most since the start of the 2022 season. I mean, I think this was the most explosive offense we've seen in Lord knows how long. I mean, I'm not.
I put it out there and got made fun of. I thought it was the most complete offensive game in Zach Taylor's era. People don't want to hear compliments when it doesn't involve Joe, but that's the case.
And you know what?
They completed 86. Yeah, Joe's on the sideline helping out. Like, this is him too.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 86% of your passes being completed. The team ran for 5 yards a carry. You had, passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, which nobody had that on their Bengal bingo card right now. And here's the other thing, and this isn't necessarily last night, but I put it in the group chat today. Over the last 5 weeks, Drew Sample has graded as an adequate tight end over the last 5 weeks.
No, he has.
He catches 1 or 2 passes a game where you're like, yeah, like, that's my boy. And like, kind of sarcastically, but now it's like, well, he's probably going to get 15 to 20 yards a game now at this point, which, as much as everybody's like, oh, that's it. Well, 20 yards a game over 17 games is $340 a year.
And he's blocking his butt off too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking of blocking, can we make a shout out to one guy? Cordell Volson, man. Second game in a row. He's been playing well. Now, Santori, this is where you usually dodge me down and all that and say, don't get too excited and all that. But is this some type of optimism in a way for Cordell Volson lately?
No. The Jaguars have one of the worst defensive lines in the NFL. People need to dial it back a bit.
Well, the Steelers he played well against last week, and they have one of the top defensive lines, and he played well. I mean,
the offensive line graded terribly in that game.
He did grade really well last week. Okay.
They played well against a bad defense last week. They have, I think, it's a bottom 5 pass rush, but they had a top 5 run defense. So if you really want to take something away, and here's the thing, they were running the ball really well against Baltimore before Joe got hurt. They really were.
Yeah.
They ran the ball against Houston. They sucked against Pittsburgh, and they exploded all over Jacksonville in the run game. The run game is starting to find consistency, which is only going to make everything else better. And it's no coincidence that the run game is finding consistency without Joe Burrow in there. And that's not a slam on Joe, but Joe refuses to go under center. It is so damn hard to run the ball out of shotgun every single time.
Thank you.
Now that you're under center, you run a little bit more of a traditional offense. The play action gets married a little better. Your offensive line moves down the field more because they're in a traditional blocking scheme instead of RPOs. It's not a coincidence that the run game has become formidable over the last 4 weeks. And here's the thing. If that's something that's going to be consistent for the next 6 weeks, because you don't really play but 2 good run defense, well, maybe 3 with Kansas City, run defenses the rest of the way. And Browning looks safe with a little bit of down the field throws to him. You're going to put up 20 to 25 points a game offensively. It's going to come down to, can the defense get its shit together? And here's the other thing. If you run the ball, your defense looks a little better too, because it keeps possessions at bay. No one wants to hear it, and this is going to sound so bad. It's not a good thing that Joe got hurt. It's just not. There's no way to phrase that. But the offense has found cohesion since they've gone back to a normal kind of scheme. I just wish and hope that when Joe comes back that they run the same system and go under center.
Yes.
Because it's so much better. Maybe this opens things up in Joe's mind of, wow, look how much better this is with the run game. Sometimes there are blessings in disguise, but it's forced them to go away from this scat protection. It's forced them to go away from abnormal blocking schemes. It's made them go so much more traditional, but then force them to be creative on the play calling aspect, as opposed to be creative in the scheme and basic in play calling. It's kind of flipped the way it's supposed to, and I'm hoping this is a blessing in disguise, because nobody said shit about Zach Taylor's play calling for about 3 weeks now.
No, they did not.
And that's not a coincidence, because he has to up his game.
Yes.
And we kind of said it when Browning came in against Baltimore. Why is the play calling different? Well, but it's been the same consistent play calling with Browning every single game.
Yes.
I know it was kind of a hot mess against Pittsburgh, but guess what? Division game, late November, fucking rain, first NFL start for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see him again in 3 or 4 weeks. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go the same way, especially since they're down a quarterback now. I just think this offense is going to be a lot better than what people thought it was going to be. And I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced. And I think that's going to bode well for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Do I still think they're a Super Bowl contender? No, I'm sorry. Do I think they could sneak into the playoffs? Yeah, with the fact that their next 4 of their 5 games are against backup quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what they did to one of the best run defenses in the NFL last week. Sure.
And the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs, the unbeatable Chiefs that we've seen.
No, the Chiefs aren't the juggernaut that they were. The Steelers are not the juggernaut that they were 5 weeks ago. They're going to start struggling. The Browns are not the juggernaut that they were. They're going to start struggling. The Vikings have already fizzled out with Dobbs.
They were talking about benching him.
The big threat right now is the Colts. They've won 4 in a row. And they're putting up some points. They are. Granted, I think they had 33 points last week, whatever it was, and 17 of them were results of turnovers or special teams play.
Right.
So they're really not scoring a whole lot offensively. And their defense gives up a lot every single game. You might have another punch-out game like Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, though. Just keep stacking wins. Do what you got to do. Because I'll tell you what, if Browning comes out and looks good again and they beat the Colts on Sunday, everybody in the NFL is going to be going, oh, they have a winning record with 4 left.
Yep.
And I think if I'd have told anybody that they would at least be 500 or better in December, everybody would take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I'd have told you they'd be 500 and there's no Joe Burrow, I think you'd have been like, I don't want to have no Joe Burrow, but if I'm 500 without Joe Burrow,
right,
which by the way they are, I think you'd take it.
Yeah.
So,
and they were kind of without him for half the season already.
If the first 4 games were not Joe, man, if you can find a way to get this defense to tighten up a little bit, which I know they gave up 31 to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
There were some very promising things in the second half of that game.
Yes.
That aren't getting a whole lot of credit. They kind of went back to some things that they were trying in the 21 and 22 season that I haven't seen in almost a year, which is the kind of stuff they were trying to beat Kansas City the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of drop 8. They're doing a lot of stunts, delayed blitzes from the linebacker. I saw Hilton playing in linebacker, spying Trevor Lawrence, shit that we haven't seen in almost a year. And you don't get that unless you have confidence in your safety play. Again, no coincidence that Nick Scott's not playing, or we're trying some different stuff on defense now.
Yeah.
These aren't coincidences, and now you look back and you see Jordan Battle as the single high deep safety as opposed to Nick Scott. You see Dax Hill getting to play in the box and jumping routes, regardless of how that ball ended up a touchdown, it was still a fantastic play by Nick Scott. I'll take that every single time. Sometimes you get a bad bounce. if the defense can hunker down against 4 backup quarterbacks over the next month, in the run game pickup, all your offensive weapons and your offensive line are healthy, which is more than we've been able to say at this point in any of the previous 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing Cam. I know that hurts. But, it's you got to get time for DJ Turner to play. Awuzie finally looked like Awuzie last week.
He did look better, yeah.
And you're getting better safety play. And I've been preaching the whole year that safety play is so damn important.
Yeah.
So the next time you guys want to be like, oh, it's just a safety, remember the first half of this year. Well, tell me it's just a safety.
You had been saying, you can lose one of those guys, but don't lose both.
Yeah,
they lost both.
Yeah. So it's no wonder it's taken a while to get playing a little better.
And they're using Jordan Battle the way that they kind of used Von Bell. They're starting to use him in some single high stuff, which I know everybody thought of Jesse Bates that way, but they used Von Bell deep a lot.
They did
more than people realized. And Von Bell, I kept saying this past week, was the asshole. There's always that one guy when you build your defense, especially when you were like me in high school. You go, okay, who's the asshole? Who's the dick? Oh, it's him. Okay, that's my strong safety. Well, Battle's starting to fly downhill because he's playing confidently, and he laid a couple licks in this game where you're like, whoo, shit, like, who is that? Okay, that doesn't come unless you're playing loose.
Hey, Santori, I don't know who the asshole is, but we know Orlando Brown's the jackass, right?
Right. But that only comes with confidence in your safeties. And when your safeties are playing confident, the coaches are going to have more confidence to call different things, which is when you're going to start getting out of that cover 2 shell. And then I don't have to worry about 4-man fronts as much, which means you're going to be able to stop the run more because I can kind of do different things in the box. It's just that was the first domino you needed to fall. And it took until fucking December for that domino to fall on defense. But it's a very, very promising domino. Even if it was just like half a game's worth of kind of flashes, that's very promising, not only for the rest of this year, but moving forward, because it takes one less thing that you have to worry about this offseason in terms of a safety off the board.
Hey, Santori, my buddy Jay Lack, how about DJ Turner, man? Little guy that can run, that can just hit people. Does he remind you of Adam Jones a little bit? Who was like that?
Adam Jones had far better ball skills. Okay. He's not afraid to hit, and he's very fast. The issue is if I see him one more time on a deep ball, have no idea where the ball's at in the air, I'm going to lose my mind.
That freaks me.
He struggles when the ball's in the air. Steps 1 through 9, great. Ball skills could be a little better. Granted, he's a rookie, and he's had off and on limited snaps. There's a lot of really, really good things we've seen there. He's probably a lot closer coverage-wise to Jonathan Joseph, that type of player. But no, Pac-Man's willing to come up and hit. He's definitely got that small corner syndrome. It's always the small corners that are willing to come up and hurt you. Mike Hilton's, Pac-Man's, Leon Hall wasn't afraid.
Did Drake or Patrick ever? I know he was a big dude. Did Drake or Patrick ever try to hit you? Or
I'd never liked Dre.
I was
I don't really remember him being overly physical. Darquez Denard was.
Yeah, he was.
Dre was more of a I'm going to get burnt on a double move and get a pass interference downfield than anything. I wasn't a huge Dre fan.
Let's real quick talk about the balance in the offense that we finally saw. We've scored 30 points 3 times this year, and I'm going to give credit to Drew Garrison because this is where I saw it. But in those 3 games that we scored 30 points or more, 30 rushing attempts against Arizona, 27 rushing attempts against San Francisco, and 31 against Jacksonville. I mean, Chase Brown had 1 more rushing attempt than Joe Mixon did all of last game. And this was his first run. And it was glorious. Sign me up for that every game.
Can I take my victory lap for one of those players again?
Please.
Because I was pounding the table for Chase Brown in
you were.
What, February?
Oh, yeah.
Of last year? I was like, that's my guy. Go get him.
Yeah.
I don't fuck up on running backs. That's one that I'm really, really confident with. So I'm very happy with him. I don't think he's a feature back, though. I do think you need to have some split time, and I loved the split time between him and Mixon.
Absolutely.
Well, only 11 snaps, though, right? Shouldn't he get more, do you think?
He might be able to get more snaps, but keep in mind, they had Travion coming in for pass blocking.
That is true. That is true.
So, I mean, if he figures that part out, which he probably will, because that was something he was really good at in college, it probably will be closer to 30 snaps.
Oh, good.
You know, and keep in mind, this is why I say I don't necessarily need to pay Mixon $9 million a year.
Yep.
Because what he did last night or Monday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had about 100 all-purpose yards, whatever it was. It was like
It was 40. It was 137.
Yeah, that's a good chunk, right? And people will be like, "Yeah, that's
sorry,
worth."
Sorry, no, 117. Sorry.
Okay, still, whatever. People will be like, "Oh, you know, that's worth the 9." It's like, you know, he did have a screenplay pop. You know, that was nice. And he did get a good chunk of carries. The issue with that is I would like to see a little bit more of a split between him and Chase Brown. And the reason for that is two things. One, it makes him more affordable if you take a little bit off of his plate. If you're going to give him 25 touches a game, which I think is close to what he got.
19 and 6, so 25.
Yeah. If you're going to give him 25 touches a game, that is worth $8 to $9 million in my book. That's about the cap of where I would pay a running back. So the touches per dollar, that makes sense, and I'm good with that, right?
Right.
The issue is when you give somebody 25 touches a game routinely, their body's going to just fall apart. And I don't want to pay somebody to fall apart. I'd rather pay Mixon 6 or 7 and Chase Brown 5 or 6 and go maybe 13 or 14 between the two of them and split those loads to where it's more Chase Brown has 12 touches and Mixon has 12 touches.
Mm-hmm. And
then you just do what you need to do. I think the running back by committee approach works great. I do think typically there's one that gets a little bit more than the other. Even if it's like a 60-40 split, I'd be good with Mixon and Brown.
Look at most
but I want
a chain.
Right. And that's what I would want for the rest of the year. Next year, that's a whole nother conversation because Mixon's due like 10 million next year, and I just don't know. We're going to have a whole lot of that Mixon conversation again this offseason, so buckle up, Twitter. But I like the split. I love Chase Brown. I like Travion getting his pass protection reps. I love Travion as a kick returner.
Yes.
I think that 3 running back, system works to a degree. I do think they should take a little bit more away from Mixon and a little bit more toward Brown. And the more games that Brown plays like that, 9 carries, 61 yards, he's going to get a lot more chances. And the better the run blocking is, they're going to get more chances. So
one thing about Mixon that I liked about the game was his long carry wasn't like 6 or 7. It was 18. He popped off again, not only in the passing game, but in the run game. He finally popped off, and he was showing a little bit of that elusiveness.
Part of it is because they're under center.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to be elusive when you have, 1, a little bit more forward momentum when you have the ball, and 2, when you're not having to bounce sideways and linebackers are already up in your grill.
Right.
I mean, it's part of it is there's no doubt that Mixon's got talent. There's no doubt that Mixon's not old. There's no doubt that he's got tread on the tires. It's part of it's how they've used him. And then the issue is you've used him, and then there's the money, and then he's had 3 off the field issues in his life, 2 of which have been, I guess, nullified. So there's reason why people are like, no, I kind of want to move on, but it's not necessarily all him. And people that I know that are close to Mixon fucking love him. And I still think he's got some juice. I just don't necessarily like paying running backs. I would 10 out of 10 times take him on the roster, but right price kind of thing.
Santori, so the restructure, explain that because you've explained to me. That means they save money. He's going to get more money next year, right? He really didn't lose money, but it's going to be saved for next year. My question to you is, let's face it, would you pay $10 million? Do you think the Bengals would really pay him $10 million next year? I know it's early to talk about, but
Let's hold on.
I'm sorry to ask you about all this.
I guess it depends on the percentage of the cap.
Well, his cap hit is 8.5 next year.
Okay.
And the cap is supposed to go up to about, I think, 250 or 260 next year.
I had 253 or something in my head.
Yeah, so he's technically, his cap hit is a lower percentage next year than it is this year. So dollar to dollar, he's more affordable as a roster player next year than he is this year, albeit maybe by 0.5%. Whatever it is, he's still technically cheaper. The way his contract is written is the Bengals can save about $5.8 million if they cut him.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to pay him $2.7 in dead money. The Bengals don't like dead money. They've kind of been getting past that the last year or two. But if he finishes this year out really, really strong, like he's looking, $8 million over the grand scheme of things, especially if T's not here and Boyd isn't here and I'm not paying Jonah. They've got like $80 million in cap space next year.
Mm-hmm. 84, yeah.
It's not as expensive as one could seem because they're also not in a situation where they need to pinch pennies. If he finishes out strong, I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I would maybe sign him to a 1-year extension and see if he's willing to spread that out plus a little more over 2 years. But I'm not against bringing him back, especially if he finishes out strong.
Right. Well, we have talked a lot about the game. Do you think it's time to look forward?
Yeah.
You want to look forward?
Can we look back on one last thing?
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to do.
Clean up the double passes, guys.
Right.
We didn't look great on either of those.
The Manning cast was clowning on that so much. It was so funny.
I haven't seen anything on it. I watched. Do you know who Chiseled Adonis is?
I've heard.
He's a YouTuber who just he kind of does like the Chris Berman fastest 2 minutes thing.
Yeah,
where he gives every single person a nickname and makes a joke for everything. But he does it for all the games. It's like a 45-minute show. He does it once a week. And I was sitting there and like minute 25, I saw him line up. I was like, oh God, here it is. And he just freaking sliced and diced. Granted, he's a Steelers fan. He's a good one though. He's not a bad one. But man, he took the shots on that one. And I was like, yeah. Like
the Manning cast, they kept saying, well, you had Tyler Boyd throw one, you had Jamar Chase throw one. Hey, it's T's turn now. He needs to throw one.
So there was a God, what was it? It was when they threw the ball, right? There were 5 reactions in my basement, right? My stepmother, who is normally overtly positive, they still have a chance. Don't give up. Stop yelling and cussing. They can do it. Come on, guys, get it. It's the third quarter, and we're still winning after the pick. They hadn't scored yet.
Yeah.
Right. We're up 7. She goes, this is over. I was like, we have the lead in the third quarter, Kim.
Oh, my Lord.
I was like, it's not over yet. Come on. And I was like, Kim, you are the positive one. This is not good if you're jumping ship.
See, we haven't seen T throw.
Then Dad is, exploding everywhere. What the hell? Why would you just throw it away? What are you looking at?
Right.
My wife's half asleep, and she was like, oh, no. And my sister's like, what was that? What's he doing? And I was sitting there. I started laughing at it. I could. It's one of those things where, it pisses you off, and it's so bad. But as soon as he let it go, I'm like, did you not see the 6'7" giant right near throwing lane?
Oh my God.
Well, it was one of those things he threw it, and I'm like, this is going to be everywhere. And the guy caught it. Everybody's yelling. I just went, all right, like, whatever.
At least it wasn't Browning.
Everybody's got one of those moments every game. We're just like, well, we're going to see that one for a while.
Right.
One more thing before we head off. Play of the game, obviously, Chase caught that beautiful pass chase, but my favorite play of the game is when Burrow's he got the first down. I swear to God, that dude thought he was going to slide. Yeah, he's going to slide. He cuts the other side of the field, gets an extra 10 or 15 yards. I'm like, that's balls of fire right there, man, by Browning. That's what my respect with him.
All right, here's the last thing, and then we'll move on to next week. I place a wacky parlay every single week, and I was complaining about it through the game, and some of you guys read it, and I think some of you guys were ignoring me.
I felt bad.
I placed a 20-leg parlay on that game.
Oh, my God, dude.
$5 to win $5,000.
Yeah.
I hit 19 of the 20.
I don't remember what the 20th was.
I knew what it was.
I needed Calvin Ridley to score a touchdown.
So close.
And he got tackled for one on that PA slide. I was going, oh my God! Dad's like, what? I was like, I almost won $5,000.
Everybody was giving you hell because you were like, I kind of need Calvin Ridley to score.
It got to overtime, and I'm like, what do I want here?
Would you have been happy if he scored in overtime?
Oh,
monetarily, yes.
Yeah, like I got debt. That would have been great. I would have paid off some student loans real quick.
Right.
That's true.
And it's ironic that the piece of shit that got banned for gambling is the reason why I lost my parlay.
That is true. I didn't even think about that.
Douchebag. Should have done that. Calvin.
Right. Moving forward.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. Jordan Battle. Colts versus Bengals preview. Listen, they're winning still. They're 7-5. They are the 7th seed right now, if I'm not mistaken.
You are mistaken.
Am I?
Yeah.
Which one are they?
They're not in it. They're in the hunt like us.
They are?
Pretty sure.
I thought that they were.
I'm pretty sure the Browns have the tiebreaker over them right now.
I got it right here. Yeah, they are the 7th seed.
You're wrong.
The Browns are the 6th, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are the 5th.
I was going to say, yeah, I thought the Colts were the 7th seed.
Oh, okay, whatever.
So, big playoff implications here. We could get the tiebreaker over them if we beat them. What do we have to do? Don't say score more points than the other team. What do we have to do to beat them?
The Colts?
Yeah. What's your key to the game?
So every once in a blue moon, and he's a pretty fun backup. I think everybody would be super excited if they signed him next year. But Gardner Minshew, every once in a while, takes a giant shit on what he's supposed to do. Like most backups. I think he tries to be Superman a little bit too often. He can beat you with his legs. It's one of those things where I would try and confuse him a little bit, but just make sure that Michael Pittman is covered because that's the go-to guy. So just try and get Minshew to throw something up because he will do that.
For once, I look at a tight end room, and I'm not necessarily worried. Now, that could come back to bite me, but I'm not necessarily worried about their tight end room like every other game this season, it seems like.
Watch Alec Pierce. He's not good, but they do like to try and stretch the field with him, and he can get open. He gets open the least of like anybody in the NFL. I was looking at separation stats today. He's about 2 yards per route run, which is really bad. League average is like 3.4.
Yeah.
So
one thing I will say with his average per catch is 15.6 yards.
Yeah, it's because they throw him a bunch of deep balls
Yeah,
and say, go get it.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything else.
to Pittman. If I'm not mistaken, I think it did come down between him and T. Higgins when the Bengals were picking. I know they were very high on Pittman. I think that's who it came down to, was Pittman and Higgins. And by the way, Alec Pierce, he's a Bearcat. What else is there need? What else does there need to be said?
Is that why he's not good on offense in the NFL?
He'll get good. I'm just kidding.
There's like one in the NFL that's good, and that's it.
Sauce. Okay. Hey, Barrow was good. Kelsey, Garner.
That's the one.
Well, what about you? Not Sauce?
I said offense, Greg.
Yeah,
Offense.
Yeah.
Defense, they're all good. Offense, They kind of fizzle out.
I'm gonna have to do some thinking. Yeah, you're right.
Well, Greg, what's a key for you?
Key for me, scored more points. I'm just kidding. Key for me, Browning. Don't change a thing. Don't fix something that's working. I tell you what, though, man. But yeah, like I say, the thing that worries me is Colts offensive line. He's pretty much been the best card in the league. What's the dude's name again?
Quentin Nelson.
We try to put some pressure on Minshew. I mean, the thing that I didn't like about the Jacksonville game, now granted, I think somebody pointed this out, that we weren't getting enough pressure on Trevor Lawrence, but granted, he got the ball out of his hands really fast. So I don't
trying to pressure him. They didn't want him to beat him with his legs.
Right, that's true. I just don't want Minshew to get comfortable. Make Minshew uncomfortable.
Yay.
I'm with you. I'm a little bit worried about their defensive line. They've got a lot of guys that can get to the quarterback.
They rush the passer well.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If they come out with the same kind of game plan, which was I'm going to throw screens until you come up in the box.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. There's like 3 or 4 ways to slow down a pass rush. Run game, a good running quarterback, screens.
Mm-hmm.
Play action if you can run the ball. I mean, that just kind of goes hand in hand. But the screen game is the easiest way to start.
Which we actually looked okay last week.
The Bengals are one of the better screen teams in the NFL. People don't like to say that, but they are.
It was nice.
But speaking of screens, this goes back to the game. Can we cut down on the screen passes to receivers? Why are we still doing that when it doesn't work most of the time?
I just said we need to keep doing it.
Yeah, but why do we need to keep doing it?
Well, there was a lot of quick passes. I don't know if I'd necessarily call them screens.
Yeah.
It's 6 1, half dozen another. It's one of those things where a really, really good offense is predicated on reads at the line of scrimmage. Okay.
Right.
There's always 4 or 5 different things you can do with every single play. And you take what is the most easy thing given to you, the path of least resistance for what you want to do. If they're playing 7 yards off Jamar Chase, I am damn well going to throw in the ball really quick.
Okay.
If you want to come up and try and tackle him, yeah, sometimes he breaks it, sometimes he doesn't. But at the end of the day, if I throw a ball straight across to Jamar Chase and he gets 3 yards, what's the difference on that between first down and giving it to Mixon?
Yeah, no, but Santori, I remember you stating this because remember our running game wasn't working at one point, so they try to make up with the running game by throwing those quick passes. Now that the running game's been working, we should cut down on those, right?
Not necessarily. It's an extension of the run game. Now it's more to worry about.
Okay.
Gotcha. If the run game works, all that's going to happen is they're going to load the box. Okay? Which means if they're going to load the box and play off, that's less in the secondary. So if he makes a one-man fucking miss.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a matter of using a defense's leverage against itself. There's no perfect defense. There just isn't.
Right.
I've coached in every single defensive system you can think of. 44, 46 Bear, 43, 34, 52, 51, 31, 3-3 stack. I've coached all of them. None of them are perfect. There's always one thing that will absolutely fucking burn you if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather have somebody in a 40 front. That's why I can't stand when the Bengals are in a 4-man front. It's the easiest front to run the ball against. I love when they're in an odd man front, and I love when they can use 3 safeties. It's a pain in the ass to throw against, and if you can figure out how to stop the run with an odd man front and have 3 deep safeties, which means the middle of the field's typically a little bit more wide open, but if you've got a guy like Logan Wilson or Pratt that can help out, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier. It's my favorite defense. But you've got to be able to control the line with someone thick in the middle. DJ
What's
Reader.
the best defense to guard a tight end? Because that's what we need to start incorporating more.
When you find out, let me know.
Right.
Well, no, Trey Flowers.
There isn't.
Oh, get Trey Flowers back here.
Trey Flowers was not the reason why they were good at stopping tight ends. The reason they were good at stopping tight ends is because they could get into situations where they could run a 31 and have a fuck ton of defensive backs out there. And they could, because they knew teams weren't going to run the ball, they just evacuated the run. They rushed 3. They would play man on the tight end and zone everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially he was double covered at all times. You can only do that if you know a team absolutely under no circumstances is going to run the ball and you're not worried about the quarterback breaking contain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very, very infrequent way. That's why tight ends, if you have a good one, are such a pain in the ass to stop. There's no good defense for them.
Well, should we move on to sleeper players of the week?
Sure.
Certainly.
All right. Let me get.
I got the last one right.
Who was my sleeper player? Wasn't it Yoshi again?
We talk about last week's and then go into this week's.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Brought to you by. Well, where is it? Brought to you by Script Coffee. When you start your story with our specialty coffee, it helps bring your story to life in a unique way. Stories connect the past and present to the future. From the coffee farmers to our roasters to you, we believe that everyone has a story to share. Script-coffee.com is where you go to get that. Now, last week, sleeper players.
I think I had Mixon.
Hey, you did good.
Hey, that's a win. I had Miles Murphy. Oh, I don't think he did much. Greg, you had Yoshi. He didn't do anything.
He did well in special teams a couple times, but yeah.
Oh, there we go. I don't know who Bengal Dad had.
Somebody. Browning. He had Browning, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
Did he?
I think he did it out of sarcasm, but yeah.
No, so that was the best all year of any of us.
All right. Now, this week, sleeper player of the week. Greg, who you got?
I have a feeling I may have stole this from Santori, but I'm going Chase Brown. I think they're realizing he had 5.5 yards per carry, 11 carries, 61 yards this week. Maybe this is a bell in the ring saying, "Hey, this guy's getting some carries in. This guy's pretty good." I mean, it's not like we all thought that he could play, right? We all weren't surprised. So
we were clamoring for it. Yeah.
Keep chasing that. Keep chasing it, man. Keep chasing it.
Ooh.
With Chase Brown.
There it is. Santori, who's yours?
I need a minute. I'm still thinking.
Okay. You're good.
I haven't thought about it until just now. So
that's okay. I got Chuck Sizzle this week. I think he's going to break one off. I think he's going to get a long run on a punt return, if not a touchdown.
I have a feeling I may have stole Chase Brown from Santori. Sorry about that, bud.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because to me, that wouldn't be a sleeper player. I mean, I've been high on him all year, and he finally got to play. First NFL game that he gets to actually get a touch, and he has 60 yards on 9 carries.
Yeah.
It's not sleeper to me. I've been waiting for that shit.
He's going to be even more sleeper, though.
Save that one for a bold prediction. Give me DJ Turner, because I think he's getting he's doing that thing that rookies do where they're kind of getting exposed, but they're very, very close on everything that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had some horrendous calls against him in 2 straight games, legal contact and a phantom pass interference that he didn't do anything.
Right.
So yeah, give me DJ. I mean, he might jump something. He's getting close.
Okay.
He as if I was in the film room watching defensive backs again, he would be someone that I'd be like, dude, you're getting close. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point, someone's not going to have that perfect route, or someone's not going to have that phantom flag, or a ball's going to get tipped. And the more that you are in the area as a defensive back, that's all I can ask. So I think He might be due for a pick six.
Pork Chop's going to love you, man.
I like it. Let's go on to the bold predictions, and Santori, you get ready because this is brought to you by Brimming Horn Meadery. Oh, I just put that up.
Yeah, you done messed up. Imagine, if you will, it's 48 degrees outside. You're in lot 1. You're sitting there with the lot lizards, or whatever Dale calls us. It's kind of raining. The canopy's out. The Tacoma is there for its maiden voyage, because I got to pick that up tomorrow. Shout out to Toyota. And Derek, the Orange Arrow, has prepared his meat for us to suckle on. Do you know what would pair well with Derek's moist meat in the moist rain voyage Tacoma? So Brimming Horn Meadery! Use our code HOOT89 to get 15% off shipping, 2 bottles or more. That's the only thing I've got freaking down pat about this. Use our code. Get some moist meat. Yeah.
Viking sweat.
Viking sweat in a bottle.
Oh, God.
Long braided hair and wooden ships and
Yes. And
horns.
Yeah. All right, let's go to last week's first.
On a boat.
Bold predictions. Mine bold prediction was Bengals win. I got it.
Yeah.
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 Greg, what was yours?
I don't even remember. I was hoping you'd know. I have it written down on a piece of notepad here. Give me 1 second, Santori. You go first.
The Bengals defense will score more points than the Colts offense.
No, last week.
Oh, I didn't have one. But that's
No, for me, it was, even though he's been playing better, 2 sacks for Miles Murphy. But he's been playing better, though.
All right. This week, Santori.
the Bengals defense is going to score more points than the Colts offense.
Ooh, that's spicy. I like that.
14-10.
Oh, okay.
In terms of points, we're going to win with a different score, but
that's extra spicy.
The Bengals are going to have 2 defensive touchdowns, and the Colts are going to score 10 offensive points.
Yes. All right.
We're probably going to win doing that. I'm going to say defensive special teams, kind of like how you do in fantasy.
Yeah.
Just points not by the offense. Could be a kick return, punt return, block punt, fumble return, whatever. It's just not coming from the offense.
Gotcha. Okay. Greg, what's yours for this week?
2 touchdowns by Bengals tight ends in general. So it could be one from Tanner, one from Dale's favorite player, or one from Irv, one from Wilcox. But I think Bengals tight ends will get 2 touchdown receptions.
All right. Mine, if Santori's comes true, mine might be a little difficult because our chances will be limited. I'm saying Browning is going to throw for 325 plus, and he's going to have 3 touchdowns plus. 3 plus touchdowns.
It wouldn't limit your chances.
I mean, we give the ball right back.
Defensive touchdowns only take 1 second.
That's true.
It doesn't take any time off the clock.
Well, and then a new set of downs for the offense.
Okay, well, punt.
Well, yeah, that's what I want, but
it's going to happen.
That's mine.
We're getting 5 touchdowns in this game. 3 from Browning, 2 are going to tight ends, 2 are going to the defense.
Let's make
put it
them
in the
all
books.
happen. Make them all happen.
If that happens, then I will. I guess I'll just be a happy person.
Make
I don't
that
know.
parlay.
Jesus Christ, what would that parlay be?
Oh my gosh.
2 Bengal tight ends for touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 Browning touchdowns.
Probably $296,000. I don't know.
On $7.
Yeah, right. All right, we'll move on to game picks. Or we don't have a Bengal Dad Powerball, right?
We didn't have a Bengal Dad anything.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we'll move on to game picks, which is brought to you by Three-Way City.
Noodles and shit.
Yeah, bringing the sights and culture of Cincinnati to fashion. Named after the traditional Cincinnati-style chili spaghetti, our good friend Adam founded Three-Way City with Cincinnati in mind. From hats to shirts to jackets, grab a piece of Cincinnati on threewaycity.com today. And there we go. So, the first one we've got, and this is only teams that are in the playoff hunt for the AFC.
I'm doing this live because I haven't even looked at the schedule yet this week.
Okay. I gotcha.
I didn't even think we were playing the Colts this week. I had no idea.
All right, first one, Patriots at Steelers. That is Thursday night football.
Patriots.
Woo. Greg?
I took the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm wrong, though. Yeah, I did take Steelers.
I also took the Steelers.
Patriots.
After seeing that abysmal effort that the Patriots offense put up.
Doesn't matter.
against the
Patriots.
Chargers.
Santori, have you not learned from me my mistakes with the Patriots?
Spell check. Patriots.
I've been telling you that so many times, and you're like, Greg. Okay.
I
The
want you to
difference
be
is
right.
it hasn't been against the Steelers. Look at Mike Tomlin's record against the Patriots. It's not great.
Okay.
Okay. I like it. Next, Jags and Browns. I'm going
Jaguars.
Jags as well.
I'm just going to shout them out as we go.
Okay.
You guys know my technicality here, so
The tie?
Browns. Just go with it.
Texans at Jets.
Texans.
I am going Texans as well.
Hold on. That's one of those ones that looks like it should be a mortal lock, but might get a little screwy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Jets.
Zach
Give me the
Wilson
Jets.
is back starting again.
Give me the Jets. That's going to be one of those ones that everybody might go, what the hell?
Zach Wilson wins AFC
You
offensive
did say
player
it with Santori. You did say it with the Eagles when they played the Jets that one time.
It's typically I get a feeling with the Jets. There was a game about 5 or 6 years ago against the Steelers where the Jets were absolutely abysmal. And Dad was like, here's your mortal lock. Not, I don't know about this one. So this when it looks like it's too good on paper, that's when I go,
Yeah.
any given Sunday rule kicks in. I have no other – there's no science or anything. There's no stats or numbers behind this. Just strictly fuck around and find out kind of thing.
Right.
That's where we're at with this one. So give me the Jets.
All right. I got the Texans. I think, Greg, you said Texans as well.
Yep. I didn't actually have them written down, but yeah, Texans.
Rams at Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
The Rams have been quietly playing really good. I will say that, but it's at Baltimore. And Baltimore, Santori was about to ask us. I think Baltimore is actually pathetically the powerhouse team in the AFC right now. So I got to go Baltimore.
There's no powerhouse team in the AFC.
Well, I know that, but if I had to pick one,
Oh, we got Mike from Chicago.
Yep.
The Jets are winning that game. Wilson would look better, and that defense is going to cause fits for Stroud. And that's coming from Michael, the Ohio State fan who likes Stroud.
oh,
Just saying.
Uh-oh. Bills at Chiefs.
I didn't even get to pick the last game.
I thought you did.
No.
I'm sorry. You said you were going to shout them out, so I just figured you did.
I had to think about this one. The Ravens are going to start dropping some. This is the
Think
time.
so?
This is the time of year where they start to fall apart.
Santori, I want you to be right, but I don't think. I hope you're right.
I still think the Ravens are going to win, but I think the Rams are going to give them a run for their money. That might be one of those games where the Ravens win, but there's going to be something put on tape, kind of like Miami did to them a few years ago, where the league's like, oh, that's how you do it. And then their schedule's about to get really, really difficult. They cannot afford to drop that game. They just can't. I think they'll probably win it, but I think the Rams are going to do there might be some bullshit there.
Gotcha. Now,
That's about the time Lamar gets hurt, too. Just
Ooh,
so you know. It's kind of like this week.
right. Bills at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm going Bills. Sounds like we got 2 Bills and 1
Hey, remember, Arrowhead Stadium and record in December is all I'm saying.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't know if the Chiefs can hang with the Bills offense right now.
All right, that's fair enough to say.
They're off.
And I think Josh Allen's been getting a lot of shit recently. And I think this might be one of those games where they just say, fuck off.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, Glenn, if you don't agree. Glenn's probably not going to. Sorry about this, Glenn.
I got you, Glenn. I got you. Here come the Bills.
That's right.
The Bengals actually kind of want the Chiefs to win that game, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no.
Broncos at Chargers. I'm taking the Broncos.
yeah, the Chargers can't do shit right. They're about a bad quarter away from shit canning their coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos.
All right. Titans at Dolphins.
Next.
Titans, come on. Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins. And the one that we've been waiting for, Colts at Bengals.
Bengalis.
First time I said the win last week because the tie wasn't working. I said Bengals win, so I can finally say now Bengals win.
Bengalis.
I take the Bengals too. So, Greg, do you have any Lutherisms for us tonight?
Oh, no. Oh. Well, let's see what the theme could be.
Off the cuff, Peyton Manning.
Off the cut. Wait, Peyton Manning?
Yeah.
Okay, Peyton Manning. My theme this week will be Grater's ice cream and all that. Peyton Manning. He is black raspberry chip. It's good anytime. It's good all the time. That's their main court. That's probably Grater's most famous flavor. I got personal favorites myself, but Peyton Manning is black raspberry chip ice cream. I can't wait to see what Santori's going to write down on this one.
I didn't write anything down.
Okay.
I was just listening. I mean, here I can. While you're discussing the next one.
All right. So next one will be let's go Bob Trumpy.
I don't even remember seeing the man play or anything, James. I don't know. Okay, he was a late round draft pick. I'll put it this way. I thought I was going to not like this ice cream, a late round draft pick, but oh my.
You said it, not me.
Okay. He was a late round draft pick. This certain flavor ice cream I thought I was going to hate. I thought I was not going to like it. He is butter pecan ice cream. I ended up loving it, and that's what Bob Trumpy was. He late round pick, thought I was going to like it, but butter pecan ice cream was really good. Oh, here we go.
I mean, you went back to ice cream, so it's very similar.
Butternut sandwiches.
Oh gosh.
Give him a current player on the Colts.
Current player on the Colts. Let's go Zach Moss.
Zach, I don't even know. I don't know the guy that well. I'm ashamed to say. I know he's been doing really well. Okay, can you give me another one? I'm sorry. I don't even know I don't know the dude.
He's a running back.
Gardner
Okay, he's a running back. He's running back playing really well. Zach Moss. Let's go. Woo. I think let's just stick with the ice cream.
No.
What do you want me to go?
I don't want to keep typing jizz.
Okay, fine. He's like fruitcake. Nobody really likes it, but I do, and all that. And now a lot of people have a different opinion, but I didn't think fruitcake was going to be that good. But I ended up liking it pretty well, and all that. And that's what Zach Moss is fruitcake.
Fruitcake is terrible. You're not supposed to eat it.
I love fruit. Go to Graders and you'll know what I'm saying.
You're supposed to give it to people and then they throw it away.
Yeah, you're not supposed to eat that shit.
Buddy, I've been eating it for years, so look how I've turned out.
All right, so and current Bengal, let's go Chase Brown.
Ooh, Chase Brown. Here we go.
Team.
Chase Brown.
Not ice cream.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the Christmas theme here. You know what Chase Brown is? Okay, I like this. This is fair. So this is one of my favorite cookies to have on Christmas. I actually I buy the dough, I put them in the oven, I am with the Hershey morsels on the top. So it's their peanut butter cookies with Hershey morsels on top. That's what Chase Brown is, man. Smooth as can be, like them, and I love them. I should have had more time to think this through, but yeah.
It's okay. That's great.
Send that to him in a screenshot. Come join our podcast. I'm shirtless and you're baked. It'll go over great.
Could have been better.
We don't have Bengal Dad, so we can't ask him what grinds his gears. Really? All tailgate news. Santori.
Meat.
It's pot roast, right?
Mississippi pot roast. Derek and I are each making one. We're going to smoke a pot roast, braise it in some juices. We're going to bring a bunch of dinner rolls. So we're going to have we're going to toast those in the Blackstone. Bring some provolone cheese, maybe some mozzarella. People want to have a kind of like a, I don't know, pot roast Philly kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Onions and peppers.
I don't know. We'll probably listen. You and your freaking onions and peppers.
Love them.
And then
So we have a cooked horse.
That was the freaking most Kentucky thing I've heard you say all day.
Love them.
I love them turned into one syllable. Maybe we'll do some hot dogs too. I was going to do those for my wife who cannot come. So now it is going to be Kieran in her place. So
what's the business, bruv?
So if you want to hear some Gardner Minshew insults, please sit next to section 307.
I wish I was sitting in that row again. Tell Matt that his friends need to not come.
Yeah.
What's the business, bro? No. What was the dog from Up? He said like Kenny Pickett doesn't like the dog from Up.
He forgot the name of the movie too. So he said Kenny Pickett doesn't like the dog from Disney Pixar's animated feature film Up. He had to keep adding words because he couldn't remember the name of the movie. It's probably going to be kind of funk nasty out there. So wear a poncho.
Yep.
I'll probably bring some extra socks in my little like carry bag that we're allowed to have. Might break out the boots for this one.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
The Tacoma's going to be ready to rock and roll tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yes.
So we'll be ready. I'll be able to get the cooler and everything in there, so we don't have to freaking worry about that at all anymore, which is nice.
Heck yeah.
So, Greg, it'll actually be easy. You don't have to shove it in the side of my car anymore.
No. For those of you who don't know, one time, me and Santori were trying to maneuver the cooler inside, and Derek's wife, Sarah, literally with one hand was trying to drag the cooler in, and I think you and I was maneuvering it in was a pain in the you-know-what, pretty much.
Yeah, we had two people pulling, two people pushing. The cooler is about 50 inches wide. It's almost a 4 foot wide cooler, and it's about 20 inches tall. So I think it's going to be right up on the edge of my new truck. So I'm curious how that's going to go, if I can get a cover on it or not. We'll see tomorrow. But yeah, please do. It should be a lot easier for the tailgate canopy, all the food and everything. I won't have to just pile food in my car anymore. I'll actually be able to like drive somebody with Kieran won't have to carry a pumpkin pie with him this time.
In his lap like this.
Yeah, it spilled like 2 or 3 times. Sorry, Kieran. But it should be a lot easier. I'm not going to come out there and say that I straight bought a truck to help with the tailgates, but that was 80% of the reason why I did it. Plus I traded even and I didn't really have to spend any money to do it. So why not?
There you go.
You get a truck for under $500 a month. You take it, So, new, I don't know what my license plate's going to be. Don't know if I keep the shiesty plate or not. Probably not, because it was a special plate for a lease. So I might have to get a new custom plate. If that's the case, I don't know what I'm going to get yet. So if you guys want to name my truck and tell me what license plate to get. No, sizzle. I'm not doing sizzle.
Yoshi.
I thought about doing White Tiger. WHT space TGR.
There you go.
Because it's a white truck. So I'm not sure. But if you guys want to send me some ideas to name the license plate of the truck, let me know.
Well, should we do a Twitter poll or something? You pick the ones you like. We do like a Twitter poll, or
we can. I need to see. I'll be able to know by about 10:30 tomorrow if I can keep my custom plate or not.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see how that works. If I keep the custom plate, I'm sure as hell just going to keep shiesty on there because I love it.
Okay.
But if not, then I guess I'll just hang the shiesty tag from our canopy or something at the tailgate. I mean, whatever people do with license plates,
Mm-hmm. I like it.
But it'll be a good time. I'm excited. I did give up my leather seats and my heated seats, so my wife is going to be not happy about that. But it's a truck.
That's right. That's right.
That's all that matters, Santori. That's awesome, man.
I called my best friend out in New York who does not believe in owning automobiles at all. And I was like, hey, man, I bought a vehicle. And he's like, why'd you do that? Why would you have one? You're going to bury yourself in debt. Don't you want to take care of your kids? Like giving me the whole 9 yards about how buying vehicles is irresponsible. But I always know he wanted a truck growing up. So I said, it's a truck. And he went, ooh, what kind? And I was like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we've only got one more thing. Oh, here you go. Hold on.
That'd be awesome.
That would be.
Yeah, I knew it.
It's a shiesty chain.
Shiesty.
Could you imagine trying to get in with that? Have to take it off every time to go around the
metal detector.
Yeah. By the way, Santori, do you own a Sparky Anderson statue? Because I tripped over a wire today on Bengals and Brews, and the whole thing broke. Do you have a replacement I could get from you?
I don't own. The only one we have is still in a box, and I don't think Dad's opening that anytime soon. I mean, if you send that, I'm not gonna like tell you what he can and can't do because I don't know his abilities. But my guess is Darth is probably pretty artistically inclined, and that looks like a super glue job to me. He could probably get that fixed.
Yeah.
All right, no pressure.
I don't think I've got an extra. Not that I know of.
No, dude.
No, I do not.
I'll have to eBay. I might look on eBay, but I'm in no rush. But it is what it is.
I got a couple bottles of Crown I need to get rid of. If you guys want me to bring that to the tailgate,
I'll take that.
Bring
some Coke. Bring some Coke with you.
Yeah, we could have like Coke and whiskey before the game.
There you go.
I've got tequila, amaretto, triple sec, Crown,
the pot roast,
rum, Kahlua. Yeah, I've got some stuff I could bring.
Well, there's, I think, really only one more thing we've got to do.
We could make jungle juice.
That'd be awesome. Derek says don't do it, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's because Derek won't be able to.
It's because Derek doesn't want to be beer can titty guy by 9 a.m.
Yeah. And it'll happen. But, Greg, are you ready to get us fired up for this game?
My back hurts.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
I have to poop.
Ooh, well, it's good timing. Oh, no.
That's a good one.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
Right in the new pants.
All right. Big Savage Greg is going to get us fired up. Okay. Greg, you know the drill. You've got 10 seconds.
Just do it.
Once I play the video.
Just do it. He's fucking ready.
And then we're getting out of here.
That's my trash you done made, so you bagged him. I'm a savage. Yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty.
You hear that? Oh, my thing came up. But anyway, you hear that? 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 That's the Tigers coming in, ripping away the Colts. You hear that? Let's go, Brownie! Let's go, Bengals! Brownie!
And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Throws is on his way around.